I'm joined by Noemi, co-founder of scalewave.io, helping brands scale. Do you think Amazon PPC today is still a keyword auction system?
There was always an algorithm behind, and there's always people who are trying to outsmart the algorithm.
Talk about automation, right? How has Amazon's AI and automation changed the role of human PPC strategy?
I am considering and respecting my strategic partner here, which is Amazon.
Let's talk about the priorities. So, do scaling problems come more from weak PPC management or poor listing conversions foundations?
Expectations, goals. I think that's where it comes from.
Welcome back to the e-commerce simplified, powered by Spectrum BPO. We are here for real talk about Amazon growth, no fluffs, just what's working right now. So today's episode is big because we are diving into two things: changing e-commerce past Amazon PPC and AI. So I am joined by Noemi, co-founder of scalewave.io, helping brands scale profitable with smart Amazon PPC strategies, and also co-founder of Snapo.ai, an AI platform creating AI generated images for Amazon and e-commerce. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on. As always, it's a pleasure. I much appreciate any creator who's reaching out. As we were just mentioning right before hitting recording, it does take time to create great content. So I'm more than happy to be on the show because I appreciate your content. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much. Noemi is working on both sides of growth, so traffic and creative, which is a powerful combo right now. So Noemi, welcome to the show and excited to have you.
Tell me please some more about Spectrum. What do you guys do and how do you help sellers achieve their goals through your services?
Yeah, good question. Spectrum BPO is a full service Amazon and e-commerce growth agency. We are headquartered in Texas, Richardson, and we also operate a large in-house offshore facility in Pakistan, so which gives us a serious operational strength and scalability. So we have been in this space since 2017, and today we manage 500 plus brands with a team of 400 plus in-house Amazon and e-commerce experts. So we are not a freelancer based setup. We have dedicated teams for PPC, listing, catalog, design, and account health, and full ecosystem that actually drives sustainable growth. So I would like to tell one more part of Spectrum. So that really surprises people. We actually don't charge upfront, right? Our model is postpaid. We do the work first, and billing happens after the month. So that's rare in the agency world, but we build it that way because we believe long-term partnership should be based on performance and trust. So if you look at our pricing on our website, the base fee are actually very low for the level of infrastructure we run that mostly cover overhead and team structure. So the real alignment happens when brands grow profitable. That's where we earn through a small performance component tied to growth. So when the brand wins, we win.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Good job, well done. Yeah, that's a huge operation there. Love it.
Thank you. So the first question is, let's start big picture of everyone listening. So over the last 2 or 3 years, what is the biggest shift you have seen in how Amazon PPC actually works versus how sellers think it works?
I believe the biggest shift that I've seen is if people or if sellers, because we're talking about sellers, are not going to consider that the platform is changing as any marketing platform, they are going to be left behind. And by left behind, the easiest way to see that you're being left behind is one, at cost. Anyhow, it's going to ramp up, but it's going to ramp up even higher for you and your listings and your brand. And then the second thing, you're going to see that people are picking up competitive advantage creatives. It's not only the competitive advantages that you had previously, but is a must, So if I'm looking back 5 years ago when actually I started selling on Amazon, and long story short, from our own brand, now I transitioned into agency life, right? And I'm seeing this from both of a side of a seller as well as an agency owner. These are the hardest discussions to get them understand that 5 years ago, you could get away with an auto campaign with little to no optimization. Today, while auto campaigns still work, you cannot anymore get away with little to no optimization. Amazon is in the business. Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world, right? They are in the business of making money. You have to be aware of that. Are you with them or against them, right?
Right, because I feel like many sellers are still playing an old version of the game. Right, you're right.
Yeah,
Right.
they do.
So, okay. So, do you think Amazon PPC today is still a keyword auction system, or has it become more of an algorithm intent engine?
I believe that Amazon system was always there was always an algorithm behind, and there's always people who are trying to outsmart the algorithm and like, this is how it works, yet no one even knows how it works, and Amazon is not disclosing it. They're strategical. You have to think that you have a strategic partner in this case. I love to call them partner because they are helping us sell, right? So you have a strategic partner that has lots of money to invest in all these super smart people, and those people are thinking 5 steps ahead. Now, think of it this way. If your question was like keyword auction system, is it now algorithmic based? Is it not? And so on. I believe it always was. I believe right now they are even more sophisticated. So that's why just be humble, understand that you are playing with a big player who has lots of capital and also lots of knowledgeable people to hire. Therefore, don't be cocky. I like to cocky. Be humble and understand that you're playing along with a strong A player. You have to become a strong A player as well.
Changes strategy completely, right? So, if we talk about automation, right? How has Amazon's AI and automation changed the role of human PPC strategy?
When we're talking about AI and automation, if I hear you correctly saying, you're referring to Amazon's way of how they are adding right now automations. Can you just confirm that that is what you mean?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yes. So my question was, when you were asking about automation on Amazon ads, just so we are seeing eye to eye, you were referring on how does Amazon applies automation, correct?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. So I am considering and respecting my strategic partner here, which is Amazon. I'm also understanding that they are in the game of making money, and they are going to take every chances as any business owner would to make as much money as possible. Now, when it comes down to automation, keep in mind that automation is not one of the newest things out there, but Amazon just stepped in recently a few months back, and they were saying, hey, we also have our own automation software. We also have our own budget rules. We also have all these things available to you, seller, quote unquote seller. Now, keep in mind that here they might be referring to the bootstrapped, I'm doing 5,000 per month, 10,000 per month revenue seller who cannot afford better alternatives. And then what they're going to do, just like I did 5 years ago, I invested a lot of my time, money, and effort in learning skills, right? So that being said, I always was at the disadvantage. Now I know better, now I see better, of someone who already has a strong strategic Amazon ads partner in place, who already figured out why the 5 steps don't work and why the 6th one is going to work. You as a seller will not have that advantage just because you're not 24/7 in an account and you're not, up to date to everything, because you cannot be, because you're also a founder and you're also wearing 100 more hats besides it, right? So based on that, what I'm seeing right now is that while automation is going to pick up, so far I did not found any automation that would be helpful for a seller in order to make them successful. Keep in mind, I'm still like, Amazon is the hugest and biggest, but what I'm seeing on their end, they are somehow strategically, and this is not only Amazon, but any software or platform or business owner, they are going to make sure that they're going to maximize their profit. AKA, if you put a budget rule in place to increase your budget by 50% on all campaigns that are under 100% pay cost, make sure that they are going to do that. So that is technically an automation. And what you're going to end up with is like setting up things 2-3 years ago you're not aware of. And because you set up so many things, let's say campaign modifiers that have a budget rule in place. Let's say you put in place something that is a placement modifier that you're not keeping track of. Let's say you put any other rules in place. All those are going to control whatever you're doing. And worst case scenario, again, step back to the seller. The seller doesn't have 24/7 like I do, like you do, guys, to look at the account and see through. They are going to say maybe 1 hour per week, and then, gosh, what's going on? I don't know. I don't find it, So that is maybe a bit thorough answer to your question, but I think that is very, very important, because I do believe that you have to be, as a seller, aware of the fact that you are in a partnership with a business whose business is making more money, either of you, either with you.
Right. We are strategists now more than the push button, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, let's bust a myth here. What's one PPC tactic that worked a few years ago but is almost useless now?
One tactic. I think exact match campaigns are the ones that everyone was preaching 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. They are still preaching it. It is still a strategy that we're applying within our agency out of the 5 strategies. It's not going to work anymore the same way, just because Amazon becomes smarter and they were saying, there are plurals, but how about adding synonyms? And you don't want to rank for synonyms, you want to rank for exact keywords, So I believe one myth that right now not necessarily needs to be busted, but you have to update to whatever is new, is exact match campaigns are not going to perform the same way how they did 6 months ago or even a year ago. I think this is one of the biggest myths out there that's like, hey, not worthy. Right. What do you think about that?
Yeah, right. So people should probably stop doing immediately, like she said. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is where a lot of sellers feel pain. Why do so many brands increase ad spend, but profit and market share don't grow?
I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the time, what is going to happen, people are going to outsource the most strategic part, either to tools, either to people who don't have the same amount of skill that they would need in order to create strategy. Example, if someone is going to come and they are going to say, hey, I'm going to increase your ad spend and these are the results and I'm guaranteeing you, I would say run, just because every campaign is a hypothesis, right? So what we're looking for, we are looking for both false positives and we're looking for real data that actually is proving us one direction. Does the hypothesis work or not? In this scenario, because we're talking about scaling an account, and by scaling, what we mean, either we are going to increase the profit margin per product, so tacos is going to go down without ad spend going up. Either we're going to do to increase our ad spend, and then based on that, we'll see if we are going to successfully gain additional market share. When it comes to scaling, these are the two things that you will be thinking. Now back to your question, when it comes down to ad spend and profit margin, like profit, it's not really growing proportionally. Most of the time, it's because they're missing strategic input. And for the strategic input, Amazon PPC is just one lever. What we need inventory, and what we need creatives. If those are not set in place, usually what we're going to end up, especially for smaller brands, there's a reason why a business is small. It's because you as an owner are thinking small and you cannot grow faster. Big businesses are not thinking like small businesses. So the way how I'm seeing it, it's more about you as a business owner understand first, you need the skills for, distinction. Even this topic, like even you asking this question is already knowledge, So once that you got knowledge, are you going to apply it? Are you going to reject it, right? And then the second thing, understanding really when it comes down to why am I not making money? Again, being humble of if ads is only the one part, understanding that also on my side, I have to be good either at inventory management, either understanding that my creatives need creative output, either understanding that my advertising needs to grow in order for me to get market share. I think these three are the top things that right now I'm thinking. Besides the fact that you also have to be a really good operator, which again, most business owners are really passionate about. This is my freaking product, buy it because it's beautiful, I love it, and I invested time in it. Well, if we know something or if we have proof for something, is that that's not how it works, So that's
Gotcha.
how I'm saying it.
When you audit accounts, right? So what is the most common structural mistake you see in accounts that are struck at a revenue ceiling?
Most of the time, people are not going to zoom out for clarity, and they are going to look at, giving you a perfect example, they are looking at, this is my tacos, that's why by tacos I need to be. And my question is, are you profitable on the main product that you're selling? And they're like, I don't know. So before even auditing an account, I think really important is for the seller or brand owner in this case to understand where they are profitable and where not. Because based on that, we can tell, structurally it's very easy to spot mistakes. Structurally it's really easy to notice that 50% of your ad spend goes on nothing or out of strategy work rather than something that is strategic. So those are the easy catches, Whenever someone would audit your account, there's like, yes, I can save you $7,000. Well, if someone is able to tell me that, no matter even if they don't have strategy, I'm like, yes, go for it. And then we will see if you're good also with strategy, But I believe it has to do more with, again, I am in advertising, that is my bread and butter. So it's against me to not say that it's advertising. But if we are taking more steps back, it's not advertising, do you know your numbers? Most sellers don't. Do you understand them? Most sellers don't. And then we as Amazon PPC managers / strategists have to point out, hey, you invested for the last month in this product, it was 40% minus profit margin, and you don't want to get additional market share for it. Why? So I think that right now, even with account audits and so on, most people should realize not only the immediate fix, yes, I'm bleeding money, should be fixed, but is this person strategic, to take over my account? And if they are, charging you $500, $200, $100, probably because they want to get experience, here, like, again, don't get me wrong, I started there, right? If they want to get the experience, probably you cannot expect to that caliber of, skill set, just because you don't have the time accumulated for you to understand that there's also a way to do it better. But those are the first things that I'm seeing right now. Again, summarizing them, are you profitable on an account level? And then two, what stage your product is in. And then based on that, afterwards, we're going to go into the advertising section. Are your campaigns well structured? Do you have a clear naming structure for the campaigns? If I'm opening up one campaign, there are 5 placement modifiers when it should be 3, what is going on? So that is more on the technical side of whoever managed the account. I'm looking much more at, are you a business? Can you, as a business, afford hiring me and then keep me at least for 3 to 6 months so I can grow your business, That is the way how I would look into audits when it comes down to this.
That's like something foundational, not surface level, right? Gotcha.
Correct.
Yeah. So let's talk about the priorities. So do scaling problems come more from weak PPC management or poor listing conversions foundations?
Expectations, goals. I think that's where it comes from, not as much as about PPC spend, weak spend, or weak listings. If a client goal is that they are going to grow to $150 per month and they're currently at $100,000, and you as a PPC manager are going to say, yes, I can do it, what you're going to create is a false expectation that is possible, right? So if you don't know yet an account, I would not even guarantee. I'm like, hey, everything I'm seeing an easy win just because your listings are well positioned. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes down to that. You already are talking to your ideal customer persona. So you nailed that part, Most brands don't, but just like, this is a good case scenario, right? And then, hey, I can invest more in advertising because already this works for you. There are other scenarios where the the ad spend is just like all over the place. And then we would be, okay, let's see what is going on with this ad spend. Let's make it into a strategic move, not still applying the strategy that you created a campaign for 5 years ago, yet it's still enabled, pause it. We don't want noise, So those are the things that I would be looking into. Did it answer your question?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so something people don't talk about enough, which is how does catalog structure, the too many SKUs, variation, overlap, etc., silently hurt PPC performance, right?
Yeah. This is something that I like to call it as a gambler's mindset. Now, keep in mind that we do have also strict strategies when it comes down to these campaigns. When you don't know which product is performing best, you want to gather data, and you would be creating the discovery campaigns, and then based on that data you would know, all right, so maybe this product right now I'm selling it FBM because I have 100 200 SKUs. I drop them all in this campaign, but that one product is actually performing well, so maybe I'm going to create an FBA offer. So in that case, for example, it would be a strategic decision to create a discovery campaign. Now, whenever we're auditing accounts and we see neglect, let me define neglect. So neglect in this case is going to be, you have 200 SKUs in, we pull the data for the past 30 days, and what we see is you have at least 200 clicks on products that clearly don't convert. And even if your bid is, like 5 cents, 20 cents, so super low, that is still neglect because it was not paused, because it's clear proof, data shows us that it's not working, right? So in that situations, it would be a bad setup simply because you did not took quickly enough action on the data that prove you it's not going to work that way, for that product, that specific ad type. So that is how I would look at it. It really depends on what is the strategy behind, because yes, the first step, whenever you don't know exactly which is the best-selling product, you would add them all in the campaign, or maybe which is the best-selling variation, color variation, or that is how I would filter it, rather than filtering it then, okay, what was the purpose behind? And if you know that, that's great. If you don't know that, just assume that there was been neglect in one sense or another, either from the whoever managed previously the account, either simply there's no enough time allocation for someone to understand what they are doing or not.
Great. I got you. Okay. So, what matrices do struggling seller obsess over that actually distract them from real growth? What do you think?
I tell you which are the metrics that we're seeing top brands are doing that our non-top brands are doing. They are business people. They understand business. I know it sounds cruel. I know this sounds cruel, but they understand business. They understand the cost of marketing. They understand the cost of, I have to be a good business operator in order to enable and empower you to become a great support. I think that is one of the things that I'm seeing right now. And take it from me as 5 years ago, starting my own brand from music production mindset, this arty person who's like, everything is sparkly, to now me talking to you. So I get it. I'm starting from there. I understand that you cannot have this knowledge of, you understand business. But I'm saying that is the competitive advantage that Amazon has. That is the competitive advantage that your top competitors had. Probably they got it right, So that would be the first thing, understanding your numbers and understand how they work, and also to be realistic, right? Because if you have the same example I was talking about, if you have the goal of selling $150,000 per month, you're currently at $50,000. What does that take, and how realistic is for you to get there? Because if we're not working backwards, one, you're going to put up unrealistic goals. I'm not saying don't dream big. I'm saying dream big and understand what it takes to dream big, right? So it takes inventory, money for inventory. So that is something that you have to have. It takes money for advertising. It takes also a good operation system. When things go wrong, what is the next step that you're going to do? And then what is really important is whatever or whoever I hired so far, do they have the skill set for you to help with that? Because sometimes you might think that it adds the skill set, And it is not, maybe it's coupons, maybe promotion, maybe a lightning deal, maybe, hey, I saw that your A+ content and whatever you're selling, you're talking to an audience that is like 20 years old. Your product is for mid-age menopausal women.
Right.
So that is, I think that is really, really important, because otherwise, if you are going to just execute by here is the recipe, do it, you're taking out thinking. Now, taking out thinking is a super important thing that is very helpful for executing. But if you're taking out thinking out of strategy, this is what I see right now, because I'm, following lots of important people who figure their, stuff out. And that's what I'm seeing. Everyone knows their number. Everyone understands business impact. So even if you're a small seller, think like a big seller and then execute it on your small brand. That would be the best advice that I wish someone would give me 5 years ago.
The vanity numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is a big mindset shift, right? So what's the difference between pushing budget and building a scalable growth system inside PPC?
Whenever we are pushing budget, we have to know what are we pushing budget towards, and have a clear, this is the starting point. Example. Again, as I was saying, if you have a listing that is decent, it's bringing you decent conversion, you are decently competitive, you have a decent competitive advantage against the top 10 sellers that are within the same niche and they're selling the similar product to yours, I'm going to talk differently to you rather than someone who their ads suck, meaning suck that they are spending 50 to 70% on things that don't work and they don't even notice it, right? And also their listings suck because they don't even have the competitive advantage against other competitors. So in this case, it's going to be very important for us to know and understand what works right now for them, what doesn't work, and then create a priority list. Because what's going to happen is that purposely we don't have any more client calls. Reason for that is whenever we're on these client calls, I'm bringing the strategy. This is a quarterly, how close, how far are we? And then the brand owner is like, what happened the last minute that is still on their mind, that is the biggest thing, and so on. And that maybe is like on the priority list, it's here. But they are going to, it's recent, we have to fix it. It's recent, we have to fix it, because you're thinking like a problem solver, which is great. Solving this problem right now is not a priority. Solving this problem that is affecting the whole business is a priority, right? So when it comes down to this, what I'm seeing so far, understanding what is the biggest lever is either investing more in our creatives, great, let's do that. Is either your creatives are okay, let's invest more in advertising because you never done that and you don't know how it's going to work, great. And based on that information, what you will see is we see the reality. So with this same keyword that 2 years ago you ranked number 1, can we still rank number 1 for it? And if not, it probably means that your competitor already, they outsmarted you and you lost market share without even knowing. So again, as you can see, I'm trying to, or I'm aiming to not give this strategic no to how to 5-step, do it. If you're not doing it and not my way, it's wrong, just because I learned on my own money, and it hurts, it's painful, and that's why I'm like giving more strategies, more like mindset rather than do it this way. Does this make sense?
Makes sense. Got you. Okay, let's move to the danger zone, right?
Right.
What point does increasing budget actually reduce efficiency, and how can brands tell they have crossed the line?
Easiest way for you to remember and to see when you're losing efficiency is the example I just gave a few moments ago. The moment that you want to gain additional market share and you say, hey, I want to get additional market share. These are the keywords that exactly describe my product. Let me run X ads in exact match campaigns for each of those keywords to see, do I still have a chance, And if you're seeing that you don't even have a chance, you might be getting clicks, but no conversion. Again, you will have a better understanding why it's that, either if your product is too expensive, either your creatives are not working, either you're shipping FBM when everyone else is shipping FBA, either I don't know. So those are the most important questions. Either you don't have a coupon on, your competitor has, right? So let's take it from that way. And from there, you're going to see, is this an ad issue or is this a conversion issue? Because then we're going to treat them differently. What we're seeing most of the time when most brands are spending a lot of money on advertising that is not working for them, and they are just like, oh, my ACOS is so high and I cannot figure it out. And like, let's step back and understand why. What is causing that? You're not converting. People are not interested in my beautiful Maya or Never cup. Is that because right now, it's not Christmas, and this is actually a Christmas gift that I got, right? So is it not Christmas? Is it a keyword that brought me lots of sales during Christmas time because people were shopping this for, their loved ones? Or is this a product that is evergreen, that anyone who's a cat lover or a dog lover or so on, they would purchase this for someone who they love, that was either anniversary, either something, or either that is event related? That would be more evergreen versus seasonality. So those are the things that I would be looking into, rather than, I'm spending $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 more, and it's just not working. Understanding the why is going to allow us to take the next action step, rather than not understanding it. If this is successful, and if you're going to invest more money, and if your listing it works well, we don't have this discussion. We're just like, push money because it works. So that would be the differentiator between the two. When you're wasting money, you're gathering proof that it's not working, so there's another action step that needs to be done. And when you are investing correctly money,
right, before damage is done.
Correct, yeah.
I think you have covered the next question, so I'll skip this and jump to the next one. So looking at advanced strategy, so how do top brands use defensive, offensive, and expansion campaigns when scaling?
Sure. I don't know how most of them use. I know how the ones that we are managing use, right? What we're doing is scale wave, just for the sake of clarity, also for the brands that we manage, and also for PPC managers that are taking over the account. We have 5 strategies. So these 5 strategies are the following. The first strategy is called Protect. This is the strategy where we are going to allocate ad spend towards our own branded keywords, our own branded terms, and our own listings, right? This is one of the strategies that's most critiqued out there, just because people are saying that if your brand is already there and if someone wants to buy your brand, they are going to. I'm here to tell you, I'm actively creating campaigns against those people, So, and I'm also here to tell you that if I would have not created those campaigns, those conversions would have not happened. We have proof for this one. You know your own brand, your own managing style, all that. If it works for you to not create the campaigns, don't create them. I'm just telling you from a strategic point of view, that's what we are doing. You were asking for top brands. This is how we are helping them keep that same market share for whatever is already theirs. Because if they're not doing it, we are going to go into the second strategy, which is Conquer. So the Conquer strategy is you're going to take advantage of everyone who's not going to take a look at their listings, and you're going to bid on unoptimized listings, or listings where you would have a more competitive advantage, either price-wise, either coupon-wise, either listing-wise, so the creative, either the brand name-wise. So you have some type of competitive advantage. Keep in mind, for these Conquer campaigns, we are not talking about big brands that you want to take traffic from. We are thinking of brands that might be smaller or equal to ours, that might have equal traffic to ours, where we can piggyback cheaply, right? So that would be the distinction. That's really important, because most of the time it's like, yes, I'm selling Pampers and I'm like a no brand, I'm going against Pampers. When I am a no brand, I have 0 reviews, and so I'm like, yeah, you're going to get killed, because people are interested in those Pampers because they built 20 plus years, their brand recognition. So they're going to be quite high for those CPCs. All right. So this is the second strategy. The third strategy is called Rank. When we're talking about rank, we're talking about exact match, either keywords, I would call it targets, either keywords, either products. And here with this exact match, what we aim to do is on that specific keyword or on that specific listing, we want to show up. Now, it's really important, because this is where most of the strategic spend goes for ranking, or to keep rank domination for specific keywords or on specific products that we see that we're converting well. fourth strategy, it's called discover. The discover strategy is everything that is not exact match. So broad match, phrase match, auto match, category match, broad modified, expanded. Even audiences would be considered in this case, because what we're looking for, a net. And then out of that net that we casted, what is coming in? Again, this strategy is supposed to be cheaper than, for example, a ranking or a protect strategy. Yes, I said even protect strategy. If you have a brand recognition that's like you're a big brand, even your branded keywords can cost you a lot of money, $20 even a click. It happens. It's happening like to the brands, bigger brands that we're managing. Just be aware of that, But then the discover strategy is going to allow you to kind of like keyword mine on things that you would want to get more, you would want to get out more of the things that you did not know it worked well for you. And then the fifth strategy is going to be dominate. Dominate strategy is basically something that it has to do with placement modifiers. So let's say that you have a placement where your ad is performing really well, and then you're going to increase modifiers for those type of campaigns based on previous sales. Now, keep in mind when I'm talking about that, I'm not telling you had the one order and you put a 900% placement modifier and hope and you're dying on that hill. I'm talking about these must be proven campaigns that you have to have at least 5 to 10 orders for that campaign on that placement and also under your break-even ACOS. Really important, this is a small detail, but really important. Most of the time people are going to assume that this is a well-performing placement. I'm going to just throw out a placement modifier and hope that it's going to work. And they're not even coming back to that placement. And back to your question, what are the most common things on a technical side on the audits is that, hey, that keyword worked really well, but your setup was not in such a way put that you are going to consider that the placement modifier is going to actually change the bid. So even if you would be optimizing the bid itself, even for 20%, like lower, the CPC itself is still going to be high. Therefore, you would never catch that placement modifier, So in short, it's really important because that is, again, a strategic way how we would be doing it. So these are the 5 campaigns that we would be applying, maybe not all at once, but for some accounts, we would be applying all at once, especially if they want to grow as fast as possible and they cannot, and they can also afford it.
Right. That's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering. Let's draw the line clearly. Where should sellers trust Amazon automation, and where should they take manual control? This is the most important question. Mostly clients or people or seller ask.
Yeah. So I would take a step back and I would not say only Amazon automation, but automation softwares in general. Amazon, that they have an automation software that's like, they are also, hey, if other people are doing it, why not us, So I would take a step back and I would look into automation versus manual control. Strategy is never outsourced to automation. Strategy is never outsourced to something that is going to apply strict rules. Reason for that is because this automation has no brain. Automation is really smart to execute. Remember when we were talking about SOPs, follow the SOPs? Automations are SOPs that someone, no brain, no thinking, no strategies is following. Therefore, they're not going to differentiate, they're not going to put in judgment. So whenever you're using automation, of course, if you want to use automation, use it, but know this. Whenever you put an automation in place, it has no judgment, it has no moral clarity. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. They are doing it. It's an automatic mechanical system that's like closing the door, opening the door. It has no brain power, it's execution, right?
Okay.
So that is why I'm saying that while automation, most people are either very pro automation, other people are against automation. I'm like, where does automation fit within my current strategy? Would automation allow me to save 10 hours of my PPC strategist's time and allow them to, aka be paid higher monthly, rather than, he's going to do the mechanic stuff? And I'm like, all right, so he's doing the mechanic stuff. So basically I'm paying a strategies for junior level, and this is how much they are doing on a junior level on a weekly basis. Intermediate level, which actually I hired for, this is how much they are executing, and strategist level, maybe this is how much they are executing. So I think it's really being aware of how can you apply automation to the biggest part of your business where it makes sense, rather than taking away strategy. That's how I would look into when automation and when strategy, and how to apply both, not blaming each, but how can you have it as co-owner of whatever you're doing.
Superb answer.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really important for us to know.
Yeah. So, big future question. Do you see AI tools replacing PPC managers, or just changing what expert focus on?
Short answer, yes. I do see AI tools replacing PPC managers. Long answer. It depends on what is the purpose of it, right? So we were just stepping a bit into automation, how and so on. And I'm going to be also honest with you, because I just rolled out this rule moving forward for everyone who we are hiring. If you're a junior, if you're doing the mechanical stuff, if you're not putting input brain power, if you're not bettering my business, and if there's an automation that can replace you, it should replace you. The reason why is because I want to give jobs to intermediate people who already have the skills. They know how to use the automation that has no brain power. Therefore, with automation and someone who's super, super skilled, I can pair them and I can promote them to advanced and pay them advanced, right? So the way how I'm seeing it, that if there is something that can be automated and replaced by automation, replace it. But be aware of the fact, the same way how, it was first, everything, it was like handmade, and then there was like these machines, and it was the factory, how it's called, I wanted to say it quickly, the period when, everything was mechanized, and then you as an employee were just putting pieces together. So you did not anymore carve the pieces, but the pieces were put together, and you just like, so it's something that you cannot avoid. Technology is something that you cannot avoid. Now the question is, are you going to use it for your own good, or are you going to reject it? Because whoever is using it for their own good will always have advantage. For someone is like, no, what, writing? I don't want to use writing. What, the telephone? I don't want to, So first off, it's going to be demonized, the strategy. And then the people who are going to adopt it, they're going to see what works, what doesn't, and like what is helpful. Because keep in mind, just because it's technology, it doesn't mean that it's always helpful, right? I'm sure that you're also seeing like all these LinkedIn posts and so on, how AI replaced people. And getting back to your question, AI can replace people who have the same skill set as AI has, right? Intelligence, knowledge. Look, like, think of you, like probably also the questions and everything, how you submitted and like how you prepared for today's session is because of AI. AI made you better, but just because you're smart, if you have no knowledge and no judgment, whatever AI pukes out, is like, I don't know if this is good. I don't know if this is bad, probably it's going to make you better, but if you don't have the judgment, then AI probably is going to enforce whatever little is already there. So you're super smart. It's going to make you even more smarter, because it's going to give you, instead of, hey, I have to call 5 people that cost me $5,000 in order to make this decision, talk to AI. Tell me, like, hey, think with me strategically. Think with me like a co-founder. How would you do this, And then you can call out the BS on whatever AI does, because AI is just intelligence, information, so on. So getting back to your question, yeah, I believe that automation and AI should replace talent that is not talent, but is just like power, human power, and those people, to make them smarter, into like, hey, I want to promote you, become a manager of AI, so I'm empowering rather than I'm paying per hour for something that is like, it's not working. And maybe I went just a bit too far and too thorough about answering this question, but I do believe this is really important, because what I'm seeing right now in our generation, whenever I'm talking to brands, they're like immediately, oh yeah, if I'm paying $99 for a software, why do I need you? And it's like, I'm going to accept the challenges because you don't know better, but allow me to tell you what I'm doing on my end. I'm putting inside thinking. I might be charging you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on, whatever I have to handle. The $99 software is going to help you with And if you don't have the strategy, this is going to crush you, instead of making you stronger, That's the way I'm seeing it, basically.
Evolution versus replacement, I would say.
100%. 100%, yeah.
Okay, for the sellers watching this right now, what are 3 signs in their ad account that show they are not ready to scale yet?
First thing, wasted ad spend. Defining wasted. Wasted means that it's not aligned anymore with the strategy. If you created a campaign 5 years ago, the campaign is still running, even if it's spending $1, probably you have, because it's a discipline, probably you have more than one campaign that is doing the same thing, and it's going to end up in spend that is inefficient. So that is something that we consider wasted. That is the first thing that I would just step back, take the 30 days, last 30 days performance and see, does my ad spend in things that don't work add up? It's above 50%, because that's clear. Those are the first things that you would be just pause them. It's not part of the strategy. If it's 10 to 20%, I would say it's still good. That's still, it's okay for you. You just are going to build up on optimizing those first, right? So that is on the ad spend portion. The second thing is going to be listings, and understanding that listings do have an impact on whoever you're selling to. Again, brand owners are not marketers. They might be good salespeople, but they are not marketers. And they consider, just because they are the smartest, the best, and so on, so do they consider marketing should work for them, So marketing has a cost, either through word of mouth, which is your time invested in networking, either you're paying someone or something to promote you, right? So this is why I'm saying that if you don't understand that, no matter what you're going to do, the product, if it's not good enough and if it's persuasive enough, you're never going to have a competitive advantage, right? So advertising first, and then the product. And then the third thing is going to be really inventory and understanding, if you want to scale, how to work your way backwards to achieve that goal, and what is realistic and what is not. Clear example, I just had a really nice call last week with someone who I would like to call them the ideal business that I like to partner up with. They are business people, they are rational and not emotional. And I prefer that, because rational means that I have clear numbers, I know exactly where am I. Yes, I'm doing right now 20,000, but last month I did 30,000, or last year I did 70,000. This is what happened, this is so on. So someone who is understanding her question was like, hey, I'm growing your account 5 to 10%. Are you okay with that? And she's like, no. Love it. Okay, so you know what you want. Most people don't know what they want, So this is more on the operational side rather than the ads and the listing. So if the operator knows what they want, I'm like, I'm ready for you. All right, so this means that we're going to increase the ad budget at least by 50%, because already your listings are looking good, works good, everything is fine, We're just increasing spend, and based on that, we will know exactly, hey, if you want to hit that goal, this is how quickly we can hit it in the best case scenario. Now, in the worst case scenario, it would be, instead of 3 months, it's 4 months or 5 months, but just because of unknowns that we couldn't foresee, just because Amazon just changed the rule and the listing is down and spend. And do you know all the small things that are happening? It's like, it's not within my control. However, I'm going to adjust my needs and business towards it. So that's why I'm saying that these are the most important 3 pillars that I'm seeing sellers should be aware of if they want to nail, if they want to become the next biggest brand, if they have the drive. These are the steps that you are taking now. I get it. Now, how do I adjust systems, because it's a system issue. It's not as much as it's wrong. Yeah, that's the important thing. Yeah.
Red flags, you can check them today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, if we simplify it, I would like one line answer for this. Okay,
sure.
If a brand could only fix one thing in their PPC account this month to improve profitability, what should it be? One thing.
Look at the best selling product that you currently have, and look at the worst selling product that you currently have. Now look at the best selling product. Are you profitable on that? If not, then you would look at the second product. Are you profitable on that? Great. Then look at the third product. Maybe if you have more than 3 products, you have at least 3 products. If you have the one product, it's just the one product, right? Analyze that. Are you profitable or not? How much are you spending on ads on it? Because that is going to be the biggest lever for us. If you're not spending enough on a product that's profitable, there is market share gaining opportunity.
Highest ROI move.
Yeah.
Okay. Mindset drives everything. So what is the one mindset shift sellers need to make if they want PPC to be a growth engine instead of just an expense?
Aiming to not define PPC as expense, but aiming to understanding that expense is a natural, that there's a column on your P&L. It's called income and expense. That is an expense that must be there. Now, if that is waste, that is another topic. But I think that's really important for us to understand that PPC is an expense. It's a business expense. Same way how you're hiring salespeople to make you more money, same way you would hire PPC campaigns to make you more money. That's the way how I'm looking at it.
That mental switch, right? Okay. Yeah. The final question before we wrap up. If a serious brand owner connects with you after this episode, what's one thing you typically show them that changes how they look at their PPC performance?
First off, I would love to decide and do my due diligence and see if they are serious or not, because we would be defining serious as someone who's spending 6 figures to 7 figures. They are just because they're spending that or they're making that revenue, it's not. So I would personally just due diligence, is this really a serious brand or not? The example I just gave is like, hey, is this person, do they know their numbers? Can they say confidently no immediately? That is a serious business person, even if they make like 5 figures right now. So that is the first thing. And then the rest of your question, how did it go? What was the rest of the question? So I was talking about serious. So the question was, if a serious brand owner, yes.
Yeah.
How would you change them, like PPC performance? Then I would show them what is the importance of hiring different levels when it comes down to PPC, because under PPC management, PPC manager is the junior, intermediate, and advanced. We are advanced. We are pricing for advanced. I have no problem with junior. I started there, right? So I did not ask for more than $500 and I managed this big brand. I learned a lot. They got my time and also my efforts and the results, right? Right now, the advanced strategy and so on with like figuring out right away, that's what they're paying for. They're not paying for my management, my $99 software that I'm putting on their account to work, So I think that is something that if you're serious as business owner, I mean, you're going to see, the first time when we were just starting this convo, you submitted questions, you showed me that you actually care of what the outcome is. For me, that means that you prove me seriousness. I'm taking you seriously. I'm going to deliver my best. So it's very much the same way. If someone is serious already, they're going to notice. If they are not serious, no matter how much money, no matter how much time, no matter what strategy, how advanced you are, how much training, how much preparation, how much skills that you have, they're not going to see it. Therefore, they're going to consider that the $99 software is better than you are.
So that aha moments.
Yes.
Noemi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was, I would like to say, seriously valuable. I love how you broke down the both sides, the traffic with PPC and creative side with AI. So that combination is where smart brands are going next. So for everyone listening, if you want to connect with Noemi to learn more about and what she is building with scalewave.io and snapo.ai, we will put all her links into the description to make sure you check that out. And if this episode helped you to understand where Amazon growth is heading, and share with another seller or brand or who needs to hear this. So this is e-commerce simplified. Thank you so much, Noemi, and have a good day.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
And,
appreciate it.
Okay, we will see you in the next one.